I definitely want to tell people, yeah, traditional publishing is not the only way to go. Yeah, I always feel sad when I meet other authors who are like, oh, I have this great idea, but I don't know if it'll ever get published, or I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in it. Everyone, really does have something special inside them, I think, that's valuable to share. And that's why I'm glad that self-publishing and print on demand exists.
We'll talk about this and much more today. Welcome to a Writer's Day podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to Writer's Day podcast. My name is Ruth Douthit, and I'm an award-winning best-selling author of books in various genres, including fantasy for kids, and now I'm writing for adults. And I love writing suspense, and my newest release, A Shadow of Hope, is out in the world today. And I'm currently writing book 3 in the Desert Shadow Suspense series. In addition to all that, I'm also sketching for my next coloring book, which will be out for Christmas. So head over to artbyruth.com and sign up for my newsletter so you can be aware of more of these products that are coming out soon, all my projects that I work on. And I give away a free book every month. So sign up for my newsletter today. And if you like today's episode, please head over to YouTube and support me by subscribing. Leave a comment. I'd love to know what you think. And also head over to Spotify and follow me anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. You'll find me. Okay, today I have Derek and Wendy from Create Away Design and Publishing. They are a husband and wife team who also run a podcast. And they fully believe that they use their art as a way to heal and to learn more about God and to appreciate creativity. I just love talking with them, and I think you'll enjoy this episode. So you know the drill. Grab your favorite beverage, a comfortable chair, kick back and relax as we listen to Wendy and Derek from Create Away Design and Publishing. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Writer's Day. I'm excited to have author, illustrators with me today, Wendy and Derek. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you so much, Ruth. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so excited that we connected because your books look absolutely adorable. So why don't you tell my listeners about yourselves, and then we'll talk about your books.
All right, super. Well, I'm Wendy, and I'm with my husband, Derek, here. And I'm an author/illustrator. Illustration is my main thing that I do. I'm a freelance illustrator. I work from home. And writing books and illustrating them has been my dream ever since I was a little kid. Ever since, I think, the second grade. That's when I first started writing and illustrating my own stories. And so it was just definitely, so I feel like I'm living my dream now, thanks to the whole print on demand miracle that's out there. You no longer have to depend on traditional publishing to make that dream happen. So since I was able to, I think 2012, I realized the whole print on demand thing. And I was like, well, okay, I'm a professional designer. I know how to do things that way. So I could do the whole kit and caboodle myself. So ever since 2012, I've been self-publishing books, and I was counting them up. It looks like I've got like almost 30 books to my name now.
Wow.
Isn't this crazy? Including the ones that I've illustrated for other people and have been involved with.
Here, all these bands are cranking out. This is like 8th album. Like, yeah, my wife's cranking out like a 30. She forgets how many she does because she wakes up, writes a book, and oh, hey, sweetheart. Oh, wait, I just wrote a book. I said,
And I include my husband's books in that count as well, because I've helped design and edit and, put these books together, even though he has written.
Help tame the beast on some literature.
Yes. So I'll give the mic to my husband, Derek, here to tell his side of things.
Well, my name's Derek. I'm the crazy middle child, quite the introvert, spent many years doing artwork and avoiding getting into conversations with people because they never knew how to get into deep conversations. And then over the years, getting into nursing, playing in a band, exhibiting artwork, doing a whole bunch of stuff. The Lord called me to be a nurse, kind of used all of these hobbies and habits to shore them up and put them in a way to do the kingdom work for him, which is a beautiful experience. And then after 10 years of an intense experience of nursing and uh, almost giving up artwork, and a patient kind of challenging me one day, we were kind of being goofballs. I was drawing cartoons of both of us just to, why don't you draw anymore, man? Why, man, you're freaking hilarious. You got to do something with this. So I drew a cartoon and made fun of everything that was going on outside in the hallways. And he was probably near death. I don't know. Maybe had a month to go, all sorts of stuff. And we were just chumming it up, cracking up. And he actually gave me purpose to do artwork again. He's like, oh, I'm a fat slob. I just eat a bunch of pizza, drink a bunch of beer. I ain't good for nothing. I said, sir, you're good for the greatest thing ever, because you saved me from stopping art altogether. And I gave him all the artwork I did. And, after ran life issues here and there. And then when Wendy and I got married, I'm sitting there one day. She's like, sweetheart, if you ever think about writing down your experiences, because you got all these crazy stories. And I was looking at her, and she's grinning at me. And there's a certain look when God's talking to me. I see this look in somebody's eyes and this certain grin, and I'm like, So immediately, sweet wife inspired me to write. And then right after that, these kids' books that, Pete the Plaid Platypus, Zabazuanki, the Zany Zuzanki. I went A through Z, doing an illustration series of all of these. Pete is a plaid platypus. He's already a weirdo. He's extra weird, doesn't quite fit in. And all of these characters are kind of like that. They're animals that aren't really famous in biology class or whatever. They kind of get the short shrift of things, and basically showing people your uniqueness, your weirdness is your strength, and you can do very powerful things with it. So I wrote 26 books, and then my nursing book, I don't know, right, a little under 400 pages. It all came out, I don't know, 3 to 4 months. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I just prayed about it and said, Lord, and let me remember all the most intense experiences I had so I can be a witness to people and get this out of my system. And so it just ripped right out of me. And now I'm working on another book about spiritual warfare and life and medicine, especially getting into like Gnosticism, pharmakia, a lot of the spiritual warfare, the occultism behind medicine. But yeah, she's my wife got me writing, and I think that's my next level of doing things, as well as illustrating the books that we have.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a tremendous story. My mom was a nurse, so my heart goes right out to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yay.
she was a nurse for
Yay.
50 years. So, yeah.
Wow, what kind of nursing? I mean, our moms, it's like kind of general nursing when they had the white caps and the.
Yeah, she was trained at a Catholic
Oh, awesome.
hospital by the
Okay.
nuns. And so that was in the
Wow.
1950s. Yeah. She worked,
Hardcore.
yeah, she worked in OBGYN for a long, long time. She
Oh,
was a
amazing.
burn unit nurse, which she
Wow.
hated. And then
Ooh, yeah, that's yeah.
she was a surgical nurse for a while too. And then
Yeah,
she went back to OBGYN. Then she left for a little while and just worked at a factory and then making contact lenses. And then she went back to nursing later in life when she was in her 50s. And she stayed there till she retired at age 79. So yeah.
wow.
Yeah. She did
That's
geriatrics at that point. Yeah.
okay.
Well, so how did you two meet then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is funny. I've been through some ups and downs in life. My daughter and I had to get our own place, and I said, Lord, I'm completely done with myself, everything else. I just want to be an amazing dad to my daughter. I'm done with all these bad relationships. I just was in what I thought was a wonderful relationship, became very pathological. So I gave everything to him, and I was playing my guitar one night on the porch, and the Holy Spirit, sorry, I'm gonna start crying here.
That's okay.
He put, I'm just struggling with these little notes, and I'm praying, and then all of a sudden I hear this, it's okay. And it's like in the spirit, I feel him put his arms around me, and the comfort I got, I came undone. And everything, I was like completely healed, like a little kid. And he just sat with me, and I played all this beautiful music, and we talked in the spirit. It was the most beautiful, loving. The Lord Jesus is the most amazing, loving, beautiful being you will ever know. Anyways, so right, I wake up the next morning. I said, Lord, since I'm done, thank you for. But if there is a woman for me, you're God. I'm done asking for little things. The heck with scratches and scraped knees. You're God. Give me everything. I want everything, and then more that you have to give me. So I can give to somebody else. And then, if there is a woman, make her the best woman. I can't even handle it. You're God. You can do all that. So I'd given everything up, and God compelled me to do this. And I'm like, all right, Jesus.
We were both in the same spot, basically.
So
Oh.
anyways, and I said, Lord, I'm one more day. I think this is funny. I felt so compelled to do it.
Yeah.
And then Wendy and I connected, like right after that prayer, pretty much.
Aw.
And here we are, these artists. And
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, you had so much in common.
we meet up.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
finished this.
so we found each other on a Thursday. As far I remember it was a Thursday night that, yeah. So this is a 50 and over dating site, that we found each other on. And so, we discovered each other on a Thursday, chatted a little bit, and at that point we were both just we were both almost ready to just give up, So, and I had come across some other people, and it was not good. I was like, okay, this guy is for real. This guy just seems really awesome, and I really want to get to know him better. And I was like, let's get together. Like, are you available this Saturday?
Oh yeah.
And he lived in Columbus, which was 2 hours away from me. So he drove 2 hours to come and meet me and have lunch together. And that was, the rest is history.
Yeah. We immediately connected on the deepest level, and our timing is God's timing. The whole time we've been together, everything has been like that. So when you pray for something, be very specific. Ask for the beyond the moon and everything. God is infinite in power, wisdom, and love and grace.
Well, I've learned,
and He gave me if I asked for a better wife, I'd be in fantasy.
And we have so much in common because my husband and I are both artists, and we met in art school, then high school. And we both do work. And it's also funny too, Derek, because that's what I've heard all my life was, why are you working here? You should be doing something with your art,
Yeah.
And I was a bailiff for a while, and people would say, I would sit there and sketch, at my desk, and people would say, what are you doing here with that kind of talent? You should be doing something. And I felt like saying, don't you think I know that? It's not as easy as you think, but I would just smile and nod, and same with my husband. And Wendy, I'm a lot like you too, because I've been drawing since I was a child. And that is something that has always gotten me, friends. It's helped me build confidence because I was very, very shy as the youngest.
But yeah, it is this beautiful thing to have this gift.
It is. And I praise God all the time because I always made people smile with my art, and I still do all these years later. And it's such a gift, such a blessing. Now that I know so much about you, and you both started Create Away Design and Publishing, and you mentioned, Wendy, about how published by demand is what really opened doors for you, made you realize, hey, this is possible. Yeah. If you were able to talk to people right now who are thinking about being illustrators and authors, what are the advantages and disadvantages to trad publishing versus self-publishing?
Good question.
Yes, definitely.
Right back.
Oh yeah. So, boy, yeah, I would like to tell people there is so much there. I definitely want to tell people, traditional publishing is not the only way to go. I feel, I always feel sad when I meet other authors who are like, oh, I have this great idea, but I don't know if it'll ever get published, or I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in it. Everyone, really does have something special inside them, I think, that's valuable to share. And that's why I'm glad that self-publishing and print on demand exists. the benefits to traditional publishing, of course, is you've got, a company behind you. However, people think that when a traditional publisher gets a hold of their book, that boom, they're going to have all this wonderful help, and they're going to get, all this marketing behind them. Well, unfortunately, that's not entirely true. Because they'll do that more for people who are already established, who already have a great following, or who are famous, But for new authors, you still have to do a lot of work. You've got to do a lot of your own marketing still. You have to be willing to do a lot yourself. So don't think that just because you're going to be traditionally published, you're going to be like, oh, I can just sit back and enjoy the checks that come.
Yeah.
It's just not the way it works. It's not the way it works. So if you're going to be doing all this work for marketing yourself anyway, the traditional publishing route, they'll also help out with, of course, putting the cover together for you, those initial things, the editing, proper editing, all the things that if you're not able to do those things yourself, or have the resources to do those things yourself, then yes, that's helpful. But then again, also, once again, remember, this is a company. And I used to work for American Greetings, and as a designer, and that experience really helped me to understand that when you are working for a creative based company, you are creating a product, and it really taught me a lot about the whole concept of traditional publishing as well. They are putting out a product, and you have to remember, they're going to probably tweak your books however they want to in order to sell as many copies as they can, because that's their goal, is to sell books. And it's your book is a product to them. So the benefits then again for self-publishing is, of course, the downside to self-publishing is the money that you put out to, have it properly edited, have a cover put together, and all of that stuff. Those are things that I luckily have been able to mostly avoid myself. I've only paid for one of my books to be edited professionally. And the rest of them I've been able to edit myself, or have multiple people look at it to help me edit it. But since I'm an artist and a designer, I'm able to basically design the entire book myself, so I don't have those issues. But I understand a lot of other people don't. So that is something to keep into consideration when you're, of course, putting out your own book yourself. Those are, and you got to kind of watch some of those companies that are out there that say, oh, we'll do all this for you for a fee. Be careful with that.
Yeah.
I've heard some pretty rough horror stories about that, where they also end up owning your book a little bit. Like,
that's
I know
right.
So that's, read the fine print, that's not always a good deal.
Also,
and,
quickly,
yeah,
I'll get you back into that. When it comes to owning things, please, everyone out there writing, do not incorporate AI into your writing. If you incorporate any of that and it gives you any ideas, if you were to publish something, computers don't forget anything, and that may come after you later and say, hey, I own part of that, just as a
That's true.
Derek's kind of put that earworm into my brain a little bit. I'm like, oh shoot, that's too bad.
You have the gift of art and writing. Keep it to yourself. That is your gift.
Yeah.
Don't need a computer or robot. And that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, because I do know some authors that do like to use AI as just a way to help them, not as a way to write their book, but to maybe help with prompts, that kind of thing, to help in. So at first I thought, well, maybe that's not such a bad thing, but then I hear Derek's suggestion there and hit, things that
Yeah.
I'm
Plus,
like,
you're
yeah,
feeding your creative
yeah,
inspiration and your juices to this thing that is not human. I just,
Yeah. And
yeah,
it doesn't give you that human emotion. I mean, it will,
yeah,
anything you put in there, if you say, hey,
yeah,
what do you think of this scene? It'll say, oh,
exactly.
that's the greatest thing ever written. I mean, it's not going to tell you the truth like a human being will.
Exactly. And I want to see your
yeah,
artwork
true.
and your feelings. And when I
Yes.
read my wife's writing, I freaking love her. She just has
Yeah. You'll know if it's
I on
her
it.
or
She
not.
had a
Yeah.
robot incorporate some AI to
Yeah.
polish it up to
Yeah.
make some kind of
Exactly.
erudite point. It becomes pointless.
Yeah, and another thing I was going to say about self-publishing that you probably both enjoy too is when you go to these book events, you can purchase your books at a much cheaper
Yeah.
price and then
Yeah.
sell them at a price you want to. And there's that freedom there. Whereas with trad publishing, you buy them, you get them from your publisher at the same price
Yeah.
that they are selling them for.
Yeah,
And
that surprised me. Yeah, I
I
heard about
know.
that. I didn't realize that. Like,
So
ooh,
I
Yeah.
was at a book event with all my books at a table, and the lady next to me sold children's books a lot like yours.
hmm
And she just had a couple of them on her table, and I heard someone talking to her, and they said, "Oh, I really like this book. How much is it?" And she said, "24.99." And they
yeah.
said, "Oh, okay." And they put it
Ouch.
back down.
Ouch.
And then
Yes.
they walked over to my table and they were looking at my books and they said, "Well, how much is this book?" And I said, "That's $10." And they were like, "Well, how much is this one?" I said, "That's $8." And like, "Great, I'll take both." So
But
there was that
yeah.
freedom, right, of being
Yeah.
able to
Amen to that.
control my prices. And then
Yeah.
I love saying, "Well, if you get all three books in the series, you'll get a free coloring book." And they're like, "Oh, really?" So
Uh,
there's so much freedom there at the
Wow.
as the
That's a great point.
author.
well, so yeah, just one more little point about that, about when you're self-publishing and selling your own books. A lot of people might poo-poo the whole, books on Amazon thing when you do the print on demand through Amazon. Like, oh, man, you hardly make any money through Amazon. I'm like, well, that is true. However, once again, if you buy your own author copies, I
Mhm.
make so much more by just buying author copies and selling them myself.
Mhm.
I make so much more than I know there are a lot of people who invest in marketing online, and they do really well selling their books online. I haven't had success with that, but that's because I haven't had the money to put into marketing that way. So
Yeah,
I
it
know.
gives you freedom to try different venues, different
Yeah.
ways, avenues. But
Yeah.
as an illustrator, now imagine we have some people who are new to illustrating books listening, working with authors. Why don't you tell us what do you want authors out there to know when it comes to working with an illustrator and maybe give some tips to illustrators on how to work with authors?
Ooh, this is wonderful. Thank you
Oh,
so
I
much.
step aside on
Thank you. I'm rubbing my
Yay.
hands together here. Okay, great.
This is something you need.
Oh, I love this. Yes, yes. So first of all, as an author working with an illustrator, um, I definitely advise I've worked with other authors who are very, very specific about what they want in every detailed way. I caution those authors um, when you're working with an illustrator, I guess it depends on the illustrator.
Hmm.
There might be other illustrators out there who do prefer there to be as much direction as humanly possible. However, I think most of them would prefer to have, like me, at least a little bit of creative freedom. That's a good thing to give an illustrator, is some creative freedom. That way, because the more control you try to have over the illustrator, the less they're going to feel like they have to contribute. And if you're hiring an illustrator, once
Hmm.
again, trust them to do their job,
Amen.
and also choose an illustrator that has the style that you are interested in.
Hmm.
Don't work with an illustrator. Yeah, if they haven't already shown work that shows exactly what you're looking for, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So look for an illustrator that has the style that you want. And then it'll go much, much better. That way you can also trust the illustrator to with their creative input. Yeah, that's the way I've definitely preferred to work. I learned the hard way a couple times when I got started, trying to morph myself into what the author wanted me to be instead of doing what I felt most comfortable doing. And it really didn't work out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
To note on her point she just made, I remember this guy heard through so and so of a friend, oh, Derek's really good at drawing and cartooning, so
Mhm.
he wanted me to get involved with this. He had all these ideas
Mm-hmm.
and specific like drawings and sketches and cartoons, giving me some maybe a little bit of freedom, but was very specific about stuff. And I was like, well, I may be good at what I'm doing, but this isn't my wheelhouse. And I started getting stressed out thinking, how am I going to transfer this to what he wants and everything else? And realized right away, this is going to be a battle. I'm going to be stressed. He's not going to get what he wants. And I called it off right after the first meeting.
Yeah, and of course there are lots of levels of illustrators out there too.
Oh, yeah.
Depends, I know, of course, what you can afford as well.
Yeah, that's a big deal right
Yeah,
there. Big
yeah,
deal.
that's a big one. So
We're cheap.
yeah, I know. Like there are things like oh my gosh, there's a speech by Neil Gaiman that's on that you'll find on YouTube. It's called "Make Good Art," this commencement speech that he did. And
Okay.
there's a part of that speech that I love to think about, which is, when you're a freelancer, you get hired, you keep getting work because your work is good,
Yes.
you deliver it on time.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and you're easy to work with.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you deliver good work, you deliver it on time, and you're easy to work with. And but he also says you don't have to be all three as an artist. That's the good thing. So, you might be easy to work with, but you might not deliver everything on time. But
But
it's
you're an
still good
artist and
because
you're quirky. They know.
but
Yeah.
your work is good. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so if you get 2 out of 3 in any form whatsoever, it still works out. So that's the thing also when you're an illustrator working with an author. One thing I want to message to the illustrators is try to be as direct as you can
Yeah.
with your author. Keep in communication. I've also, I get really, like, illustration is for books is kind of more of like my third thing that I do professionally. It's not my meat and potatoes that makes all of my money. So it ends up kind of being on the back burner sometimes. So I like to try to uh, make sure that every author I work with understands that my main client that I depend on for my income to keep the roof over my head has to always come first. And therefore, they're going to have to be a little bit flexible with me when it comes to deadlines.
Mm.
So as an illustrator, try to be as direct as possible when it comes to your progress. Try, even if you're a little nervous and you're like, oh boy, what's the author going to say? I'm so scared.
They just want to know. You're
just
so right.
just keep in communication.
Communication.
Even if you've got life things that come up, just let the author know that. Let them know what's going on, because the author, of course, they end up having these their own deadlines. And as an author also, you be direct with the illustrator too. It's like, okay, I've got this book event that I really want to make sure I have these books for. That's really important for me to have the book on time for that. So communicate that and try to work together to meet whatever deadline works for both parties.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's excellent advice. Oh my goodness. And it
Amen.
seems like it all comes down to making sure you're communicating
Yes.
on both sides. Authors, you should know what you want and what you don't want. And
Yeah.
illustrators, you should be upfront with your availability and price and what should it be expected and everything. Oh, that's great.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And another point with the illustrators with communication, also make sure you communicate if how many changes you will allow
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's
in that price that
crucial.
you quote to that author. That way the author also knows how many adjustments are allowed, because it can get out of hand.
That's a good point, because it can go back and forth and back and
Yeah.
forth.
Oh yeah.
And then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
working for peanuts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
boundaries. You have to
Yeah,
establish those.
exactly.
You have to say 3 times, that's it. And if you don't like it, that's the way it is.
That's sage
Yeah.
advice. And that you ladies are bringing this up. And thankfully, my wife helps keep me in line.
Well, so it sounds like you're both really busy. What's coming next for Create Away Design and Publishing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very busy trying to get these illustrations done for my husband's 26 darn book series that he wrote.
Yeah,
Crying out
I'm
loud.
illustrating more of them. I'm picking up some. It's like giving
Yeah.
me an opportunity to be my weirdness and her weirdness, and we're combining our weirdnesses. So it's like, oh wow, there's all these different approaches. So it's neat in a series to have that.
It's 26 books because it's for each letter of the alphabet. So he's already written it, and yeah, I've been editing a little bit as I go with each one, but yeah, for the most part, it's like done. His job.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, we've decided we've discussed. It's like, oh my goodness, I don't know how many years it's going to take to illustrate 26 books, sweetheart. So he's decided to pick up some of them and illustrate some of them as well.
Okay, that makes
It'll be
sense.
What I did was fun.
It'll be an interesting series because it's like ideally for an illustrated book series, you want the illustrations to have this cohesive look so that they're all, the same style, ideally. But at the same time, I'm like, how many years is it going to take for me to illustrate all this? But because we have very different styles.
And it's a weird enough series where I think, and I told Wendy, I was like, well, why don't you put maybe with Pete the Platypus, why don't you put a little picture of Pete somewhere in the periphery of the page so when people are perusing the print, they can,
They'll know.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
That was the whole
idea.
series right there. I just start going, look out.
They'll be connected. Well, then you both have a podcast too. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah. That's kind of I call it our fledgling podcast because we're just getting started with it. We've got a few episodes.
Yeah, my sweetie pie was talking about enjoying podcasts and I have these ideas and I was looking at her and we have the Create Away for her self-publishing. And I said, well, sweetheart, let's start a podcast. Let's call it Create Away because the Lord says, well, hey, I give you this creative spirit, create away.
How exciting.
It created this bond. Everything's open and we live in truth and just working towards goals. And we get to share this love of creativity, love of marriage, love of God, love of improvisation and new ideas with all these other people. And it's I throw this idea out to Wendy knowing that I really stink at organization, websites, things like that, but knowing that she's going to jump on it. But
That's
then that
amazing.
requires me to jump fully in.
Yeah.
Whatever she says,
That's the nice
she
thing.
says, sweetheart, can you do this? My thing is, as you wish. I love you. I don't ever turn her down for a thing, and it's made a wonderful creative experience.
And I appreciate it because I did a podcast before years ago. It's been fun having a partner doing this, and my partner being my husband has ended up being kind of like this therapy.
Yeah,
doing
we're
this
best
together.
friends, and she'll tell stories, and I'll tell stories.
Well, Wendy and Derek, this has been so amazing. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I just can't tell you enough how much I love your books. They're so adorable. Folks listening, you got to head over to their website, cawpublishing.com, and check out all their books. They are so amazing. You're both so incredibly talented, and listen to their podcast, Create Away. And thank you both. This has just been a delight. I'll definitely have to have you on again.
Well, please do. This is you make me feel like a kid talking about all this stuff. I get in such a good mood.
Thank you, Ruth. That's been wonderful.
Wow, that was so much fun to talk with Wendy and Derek over at Create Away Design and Publishing. Authors and artists combined working together, husband and wife team. That is so impressive. So remember, go over to cawpublishing.com to find out more about them and to see their amazing books. The cover art is just adorable. And I hope that you've been encouraged. If you are an artist and maybe wanting to be a book illustrator, Wendy gave us some excellent tips. And if you are an author who wants to write some picture books for kids, Wendy and Derek have given you some excellent advice as well. But most importantly, stay true to yourself. Write the book that you want to write, and learn to defend your ideas to illustrators so that the book turns out the way you want it to be. And also maybe try some self-publishing if trad publishing hasn't worked out for you. I've loved it. I've been doing it since 2012. But most importantly, keep writing. Keep going forward on your journey, one step at a time. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, God bless.